Hello everyone, welcome to the 100 Q&A practice. We're going to start off with some Q&A with the plaintiff questioning. Ready? Before we get started, let me just give you a few briefs that you can use. Eastbound is EB. Vehicle, V long EK, Veek. Pedestrian, PED. Conversation, K, initial K, final F or GS. Let's see, approximately, initial P, final L. In other words, you can either write that as NERDZ or initial N, final RDZ, leaving out the E. Red light, initial R, final LT. Okay, here we go. Now, you saw one vehicle in motion which was proceeding away from you in an eastbound direction. That is correct. Did you see any other vehicles in motion, either going east or west, at the time you saw this eastbound vehicle? No, sir. Did you see any pedestrians around the street or in the street itself? Not in the street, no, sir. In other words, when you say you saw this vehicle going east at a normal rate of speed, approximately what number of miles per hour do you mean? Well, the vehicle didn't attract my attention as far as being a speeding vehicle. It appeared to be just driving at a normal rate of speed for that street at that time of night. Now, when you had this conversation with Mrs. Boyd, did she relate anything about this eastbound moving vehicle? Yes, she did. All right. Now, as a result of that conversation, what did you and Mr. Miller do? We immediately pursued the vehicle. Now, when you say you pursued the vehicle, will you tell us just what you did? We turned on the red lights of the police vehicle and accelerated rapidly in pursuit of the vehicle. Did the police unit stop the vehicle that you were pursuing? Yes, sir. And where did you stop the vehicle? At what location? We stopped the vehicle on Vermont. Okay, I'm going to switch transcripts. It's going to be plaintiff again. Ready? Have you ever had any conversations with Brian Mason? Yes. When did you talk to Brian Mason? While we both worked for Tilton. Have you ever talked to him since? No. Did you ever talk to him while you were at Tilton about leaving Tilton? No. Did you ever tell him that you were going to leave Tilton and join Victory? No, sir. While you were at Tilton, did you ever tell anybody that you were leaving to work for Victory other than your notice? No, sir. Have you ever at any time told anybody, to your knowledge, that Victory knew everything there was to know about Tilton? No, sir. May I correct that statement? Yes. I recall someone discussing something about Victory knowing about something with Tilton, and it referred to a time when Victory went over Tilton's books, as I understand it, in a proposed merger of the two companies. I don't even recall who made the statement or when it was. Were you an employee of Tilton when Victory did go over the books of Tilton? I believe so. You say there was a proposed merger. This is the rumor I have been told. Who told you that? I believe it was William Grant. Have you ever been told anything else with regard to that proposed merger? No, sir. Do you know anything else about it? No, sir. By rumor or otherwise? No, sir. Have you ever communicated with Tom Conley? Yes, sir. When did you communicate with Tom Conley after you left Tilton? Once, about the first part of May. Did you call him? Yes, I did. What did you say to him? I had gotten some information that he had left Tilton, and upon calling him, I found out that this was wrong, that he was still in their employ. What was the purpose of your call? If he had left, I was going to discuss with him possible employment. Where did you hear that he had left Tilton? Through one of the employment agencies. Which one? I don't recall. Did you talk to him at any time other than that time? Yes, sir. When was that? After he had left Tilton. And what did you talk to him about? If he had any interest in joining our sales team. What did he say? He didn't think so. In your first conversation, did he indicate that he would be interested in working for Victory? He was non-committal. What kind of a job did you have in mind for Tom Conley? Sales trainee. Did you ever discuss a sales supervisory job with him at Victory? No, sir. Where did you call him from in the first call? Houston, as I remember. Did you ever have lunch with him after you had left Tilton? No, sir. You only called him twice? To my recollection, yes, sir. All right, switching to the transcript with the psychologist giving testimony regarding this man. Okay, here we go. Looks like plaintiff is questioning. Were you aware when he first came into the hospital that he actually refused medical assistance and the officers were talking to him and the doctors were asking him to allow them to treat his wounds, just to the extent of his recollection that he didn't realize he was in need of medical assistance until he saw his fingers flopping, and you didn't have an opportunity to check to see if he actually did refuse medical treatment in the beginning? No. So you have no information to impart to us about what happened that evening in that emergency room? No. Now, doctor, I notice that you have indicated in the reports, I'm reading in the reports, that the defendant has had several other experiences, drinking experiences, that may or may not have produced hallucinations. Is that correct? Yes. I noticed that on page 2 of your report that you have indicated that there have been certain instances of very aggressive and assaultive behavior that you felt were not connected with any hallucinatory experiences. Would you mind reading that last part of that paragraph to us? I believe it's in the first paragraph on page 2, down towards the last 6 lines. He recalls one previous incident. I think this is, are you reading from the March 10th report, Doctor? Which one is yours? I have both. I have March 10th, page 2. Is that the one you are referring to? Yes, on page 2, about 6 lines from the bottom of the first paragraph. It starts with, there have been. There have been repeated instances of his becoming aggressive and assaultive, but these are not connected with any hallucinatory experiences, and he has total amnesia of these incidents. There may or may not have been hallucinations, but he has no recollection of them. He has found himself in jail for fighting police who were booking him for public intoxication, and he has found himself in an emergency room having his lip repaired for an injury sustained in a fight that he could not recall. These are previous instances that he has told you about. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. Okay, that concludes our Q&A practice for the 100 class.